Barça switched defensive targets, business at Chelsea isn't over yet, a crazy Goetzer return is possible, a transfer roundup, and today's great debate all coming up in the next few minutes, as I am your host Matt Froelich, you are the OneFootballers, and this is the Daily News. First up, and Barcelona are making a really big push to sign Norwich fullback Max Aarons. That's right, you heard me. Barcelona are going to the Championship to sign Max Aarons. This is absolutely no disrespect to Barca, to Norwich, or the player himself, who looks like a really decent right back. I mean, surely there's another right back out there somewhere that could do the job. Not necessarily do the job better, but be a little bit less of a risk when it comes to playing at that level. Aarons had a decent season, so much so that he was linked to a few Premier League clubs last season, but at the end of it all, he was part of the back line that got relegated. For example, on the flip side of the Norwich defence was Jamal Lewis, who's ended up at Newcastle. So this represents a massive leap for the Englishman, but honestly, good luck to him. This is the stuff dreams are made of. Apparently, he's agreed a 5-year deal with Barcelona, and all that's left to do is for them to talk to Norwich. 20 million plus 10 million in variables is the offer that's on the table at the moment, although apparently Ronald Koeman thinks he can get it down by just a little bit. The whole reason that they've switched their defensive targets to Max Aarons is because Serginho Dest looks like he's going to end up at Bayern Munich. It was well reported that both Bayern and Barca were interested in the young Ajax star, but yesterday, Dest put up a picture on Instagram, and this is definitely like a 21st century thing to happen in the transfer market. He geographically tagged where he was in the Instagram picture, and it turns out it's the place where Bayern Munich have all of their photo shoots. He then quickly deleted the tag of where he actually was, but of course, a few keen eyes on the internet saw it, and well, the rest is history. So with him going to Bayern, it looks like Max Aarons will be ending up at Barcelona, and all because they've managed to get rid of Nelson Semedo. 40 million euros is the amount which has seen him swap the new camp for Molineux as he's headed to Wolves. Next up though, and business is not done at Chelsea, and it looks like the Edouard Mendy deal, which we've been speaking about, the goalkeeper from Rennes, is so close to happening. That is because yesterday Frank Lampard confirmed that the goalkeeper was in town for his medical. He mentioned after the 2-0 loss to Liverpool that Kepa's mistake was an obvious mistake, but I mean, let's be honest, the warning signs were there around Kepa for a long while. It looks as though apparently Mendy's been brought in to challenge Kepa for the number 1 spot, but realistically speaking, I'll be amazed if by the time Mendy doesn't come in, he's slotted straight into that number 1 spot in between the sticks. I mean, it's certainly a better option of fighting for the place than 38-year-old Willy Caballero, but business at Chelsea is not done there, and this could be one on the way out rather than one on the way in at Stamford Bridge, and it's Antonio Rudiger. Now, in my eyes, the German defender is really good and would definitely be a shoo-in, but having seen Chelsea's recruitment, including Thiago Silva, and the fact that Christensen's had a great start to the season, Rudiger looks like he may be leaving the club. He was left out of both matchday squads so far for the victory against Brighton and the loss to Liverpool, and Frank Lampard says he's got 5 centre-backs and he just can't have 3 centre-backs on the bench, so he's been left out of the squad altogether. Normally, you'd probably think, you've been left out of the matchday squads, you work hard in training, you get back in. The problem here is that centre-back rarely, and to be honest, shouldn't be changed so much. The consistency in defence usually comes from having the same players play every single week, getting to know each other, really defending well as a unit. So it's going to be more difficult than, say, for an attacking position for Rudiger to break into. And on top of all of this, we are less than a year away from Euro 2021, and if Rudiger wants to keep his place in the Germany squad, he's going to need to be playing full time. And talking of that Germany squad, and coming to a German player who is on the verge, not really the verge, it's just a rumour, about one of the most bizarre returns in football, and it's Mario Götze. So much like Mats Hummels, he did the whole Dortmund thing, but now it looks like he could be heading back to Bayern Munich. You heard me right. A few weeks ago, he was linked with West Ham, so this is a definite turnaround. Anyway, he is the second most expensive in terms of market value player who is currently available for a free. He's worth around 10.5 million. So bring him in on a free transfer may seem like a good piece of business, but for Bayern Munich, this is just downright bizarre. This is the all-conquering Bayern, the forward-thinking, incredibly young, fit and athletic, treble-winning Bayern Munich. Not signing a free transfer who wasn't good enough for Dortmund. Anyway, there were talks apparently between him and Hansi Flick because they know each other well from the German setup and of course from that legendary 2014 World Cup winning side. Apparently Flick has spoken to Götze recently about rejoining the Bundesliga champions, but as you can expect, there's been a bit of pushback from the board at Bayern. They don't really see the need to bring Götze in, and they don't particularly want him back at the club. Although Hansi Flick apparently has made a good point that in these corona times there aren't necessarily so many good deals going around, especially for a lot of money, so signing someone on a free transfer, even though he will have high wage demands, looks to be a good deal. Anyway, moving on to a quick roundup of the rest of the day's transfer news that you might have missed, and PSG are growing ever more confident that they can bring in Spurs' Dele Alli on a one-year loan deal. Matteo Guendouzi has handed in a transfer request at Arsenal. Leeds and Real Sociedad have agreed a fee for defender Diego Llorente, and lastly but not least, Everton's Tom Davies is in talks for the move to Southampton. Finally then, we come to this week's great debate. This is where the guys in the OneFootball newsroom pose a question for all of us, and they want to hear your answer in the comments section down below. Of course, you can find my answer and their ones in the relevant article in the OneFootball app. But for the comment section, we want to know, who is the worst transfer of all time? This is a massive deal. Like, this is obviously, there are so many names here, there's no right or wrong answer, but for me, for a multitude of reasons, I'm going for Alexis Sanchez. Like, yes, they swapped him with Henrik Mkhitaryan. He didn't have a good deal at Arsenal either. Alexis Sanchez was brilliant at Arsenal, but my word, when he got to United, he was just trash. 1.5 years he spent at Old Trafford, only 3 Premier League goals, some shocking performances, some injuries, and then when he left to Inter Milan on loan, they still had to pay half of his wages, which, by the way, were around £400,000 per week on a 4.5-year deal. This was someone who at the time I think was 30. Just utterly outrageous, and honestly, I haven't even got onto that whole piano announcement video he did at United either. That was a pretty shocking transfer. Of course, there are loads more, and you guys can let me know yours in the comment section down below, because that is this week's great debate. Watch today, you can also let me know your thoughts on the rest of today's daily news. Smash the like button and click here or here to check out all of the other videos we've got going on OneFootball. But until next time, I'll see you guys later.